Is ESPN disrespecting Caitlin Clark? The recent headline, "DeWanna Bonner shut Caitlin Clark down," set the internet ablaze. While the intention might have been to highlight DeWanna Bonner's stellar defense, ESPN's framing of the narrative subtly undermined one of the WNBA's brightest rising stars, Caitlin Clark. The phrasing shifts the focus from praising Bonner to discrediting Clark. This isn't the first time ESPN has been criticized for such tactics. Let's break down the full story behind this headline and how ESPN continues to mishandle coverage of female athletes, particularly Caitlin Clark. The title used by ESPN, "DeWanna Bonner shut Caitlin Clark down," does more than just praise Bonner for her excellent defense. It diminishes Caitlin Clark's performance in a way that feels disproportionate. The phrase "shut down" evokes a sense of complete failure, which doesn't reflect the full context of the game. Yes, Clark had an off night, but athletes having poor shooting performances isn't unusual. So why is ESPN framing this so sensationally? Clark, who has been pivotal to Indiana's success, finished with 11 points on 4 for 17 shooting. A below-average night, but not a complete disaster. Instead of focusing on Clark's resilience and Bonner's incredible game, ESPN opted for a headline that casts Clark in a negative light. This kind of sensationalism undermines the talents and contributions of both players involved.
In addition to Sunday being Game 1 of NBA playoffs, it was also A'ja Wilson MVP Day. She won her 3rd career league MVP. This one, unanimous. Joins Hall of Famer Cynthia Cooper in 1997 to hold that distinction. And unanimous was really the only way this could have played out, though. She set a WNBA record in points, first to ever score 1,000. Scoring average was also a record.
Caitlin Clark has been in the spotlight for her impressive performances throughout the season. In the postseason opener against the Connecticut Sun, Clark struggled to find her rhythm. She missed several wide-open shots and ended with only 11 points. However, as Clark pointed out in a post-game interview, her poor shooting wasn't due to any major defensive issues from Bonner alone. Caitlin Clark said, "I felt like I got good shots, they just didn't go down. Honestly, a tough time for that to happen. I had 3 pretty wide-open threes in the first half that I usually make. That's tough, but I tried my best." This quote showcases that Clark wasn't necessarily shut down. The shots simply didn't fall. Yet ESPN's headline implies total domination, which isn't reflective of Clark's efforts or the broader context of the game. On the other side, DeWanna Bonner had an outstanding performance in this game, both offensively and defensively. Bonner is a seasoned veteran, finishing her 15th year in the WNBA and moving up the ranks in several statistical categories, including points and rebounds. Her defensive effort in guarding Clark is commendable. Still, it's worth noting that ESPN could have simply celebrated Bonner's contributions without painting Clark as a victim of total defeat. Bonner held Clark to a poor shooting night, but she also contributed 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks. Her incredible all-around performance deserves to be the focal point of the coverage, not framed through the lens of shutting down another player.
Told us that the Fever were one of the hottest streams in the Olympic break. They were averaging over 90 points per game. Best held to 69 points. First time being held under 70 points since the Olympic break. Talk about what the Sun did defensively so well.
Well, we talk about basketball being a game of chess, and especially in the series and especially in the playoffs, you got to make a move. And how smart was the Connecticut Sun staff? Give Stephanie White credit for putting DeWanna Bonner on Caitlin Clark to start the game. Mind you, Caitlin Clark and Dejanay Carrington have been going at it all season long, but you put DeWanna Bonner, who is 6'4". She's got great.
Unfortunately, this is not the first time ESPN has been called out for sensationalizing its coverage, especially when it comes to women in sports. Female athletes often face headlines that either over-sensationalize failure or downplay their achievements. Caitlin Clark, one of the most promising talents in women's basketball, deserves better than to be the scapegoat of a narrative that overshadows her hard work. This trend in media representation does more harm than good. By focusing on individual failings, ESPN risks overshadowing the achievements of women in sports who are making history in real time.
chalk. What is your biggest takeaways from the 3 matchups that we've already seen?
Well, even with chalk, even when the higher seed wins the games, there are still things that have been very impressive. You take the New York Liberty, just the fact that they handled business. They took care of business at home after just losing to the Atlanta Dream. And then we go with the Minnesota Lynx. They didn't necessarily handle...
As a rookie, Caitlin Clark has already established herself as a key figure in the WNBA. She was a top contender for Rookie of the Year and finished 4th in the most valuable player voting. These accolades alone prove her talent and determination. However, headlines like the one from ESPN can slowly chip away at her growing legacy. Instead of celebrating her for her achievements, Clark risks becoming known for moments of failure that are blown out of proportion.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and not be there for them. So I just want them to always just know I'm still a human. All this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say I'm unapologetically.
But sometimes you just want to live a normal life. Angel Reese was quite clear on her wish after having known the dark side of popularity. It might be their rookie year in the W, but the Sky number 5 and Caitlin Clark have already established what their historic rivalry can do. Their stats speak for themselves, and fans love comparing them to each other. It's a fact that both players have brought more attention than ever before to women's basketball. But at the same time, while the players are not directly involved, fans on each side throwing vitriol at each other has caused harm. But a gymnastics star from Reese's alma mater has a possible solution. In a recent conversation on Best of Both Worlds with Flaujae, Olivia Dunn addressed how she deals with online and offline haters. As Johnson iterated how hard it is for student athletes to handle studies, sports, and endorsements at the same time, Dunn agreed. The gymnast said,
I'm sure you get it with people and trolls online, even to just the art of trying to stay silent during certain things. Saying one wrong thing can
She is right. One misplaced word can impact her work. As a public figure, it's not easy to overlook trolls. Dunn continues,
ruin the business. Just being able to keep your cool and composure, that's an art. And that's something that we need to do because we're also representing LSU, and that's hard.
Johnson agreed with her.
Livy, you know how many times I don't want to crash out on the internet, or I done typed something up in my drawers and had to delete it.
My Twitter fingers are
comment back.
Especially as NIL earners, brand endorsements bring in more attention to athletes, which sometimes takes away from what they're trying to promote at the primary level. The joy of sports. On a podcast episode from about 2 weeks ago, Angel Reese had explicitly spoken about receiving extreme hate comments. While the Fever rookie is adept at staying silent and not giving more power to the rumors, the Sky Star has addressed some of the unwarranted hate and anger thrown her way. Dunn said,
my Twitter fingers go crazy, but I can't press send because my code.
I can't because you just can't because you represent. First of all, it's I'm not representing just myself anymore. I'm representing brands. I'm representing LSU. It's people that look up to me. It's a whole lot of factors. But
it's
I'll be
an art.
With you now.
It's
I'll
hard
be right with you.
to zip it. Sometimes I'm no better than
and I like to talk.
Well, if trolls can easily say something, anything, from behind their screens, so can the people their comments are directed at. But given the large stage they stand on, as Dunn asserts, the art of staying silent comes in. While neither Johnson nor Dunn specifically mentions the Reese-Clark rivalry, the LSU players' advice could be taken by the pros as well. Interestingly, at one point in time, Flaujae Johnson and Angel Reese used to combat this criticism together as LSU teammates, but not anymore. They say college friends last a lifetime, but it's not always true. Certainly the case of Angel Reese and Flaujae Johnson is proof. Two women who used to be teammates on the LSU Tigers once upon a time.
Relationship with all your teammates. I know Angel recently said that you guys aren't as close, but that's just with distance and time. Like, that's not like, you know, she said she was going to come back, cheer you guys on.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, me and Angel, we ain't like as close as we used to be, but like I still support her 1,000%. You know, I was proud of her, like just being the W and breaking records. A lot of people said that she wouldn't go to the W and do all those things, and they kind of hated on her. But I kind of knew that because I seen it every day in practice. Like, you know what I'm saying? I seen the mentality that she has, so it's been dope.
Let's see what Reese said on her podcast.
Yeah, I still support Flau'jae. We aren't as close as we used to be. And there's no hard feelings or anything, but we aren't as close as we used to be. That's why people always expect us to like still be posting each other and stuff like that. But like we aren't as close. And I mean, it happens. I mean, you don't have the best relationships for everybody and don't always continue relationships with people. So I wish her the best always. I'm always going to support her. I'm going back to LSU soon just to be able to see them and support the girls. But yeah, there's no love lost, but we aren't as close as we used to be.
The Chicago Sky forward clarified that there is no love lost between the two, and Reese even sent good wishes to Johnson when it was announced that she would perform at the ESPYs this year. It might not be long before Johnson joins her former teammate as a pro in the W, or she might choose her singing career over basketball. Either way, though they may not talk to each other every day, Reese and Johnson will be supporting each other from afar. As for the fans, maybe not getting too involved in the rivalry of it all, but supporting the sport would be the best thing.
There are thousands of people on social media who are questioning this injury. There are thousands of people on social media who are claiming that this Angel Reese injury is fake, or as Donnie Brasco would call it, a fugazi.
Angel Reese's wrist injury has taken an unexpected turn. Fans are excited about some surprising new details. Caitlin Clark is at the center of it all. What's happening behind the scenes is hard to believe.
Now, is there legitimacy to these claims? Would Angel Reese actually fake an injury? Would Angel Reese prematurely end her rookie season to spare herself the embarrassment?
Here's the deal. Angel's career is on the line, while Caitlin's is taking off. It's like a real-life sports drama unfolding. Angel is at a critical point, and everyone's wondering, will this injury be her downfall or her comeback?
And even in her press conference, it didn't seem like anything was wrong. She didn't discuss an injury. So fans were actually really shocked when she came out and said that she would be out for the rest of the season. In the 24 hours after the news broke, the internet ran wild with conspiracy theories. They were wondering if she was truly injured.
Here's where things take a fascinating turn. Some fans are questioning whether there's more to Angel's injury than meets the eye. Is it genuine, or is she orchestrating a larger strategy while Caitlin is setting records? The WNBA landscape is changing, and we're all struggling to keep pace. This has transcended basketball. It's now about uncovering Angel Reese's true identity and her next move. Buckle up for this wild ride.
Basically, the doctors told me that I could either not get surgery or have surgery. The risk of not having surgery, I could literally have arthritis at 22 years old. That wasn't an option. The bone could literally crack and literally completely shatter. Right now it's like a hairline, literally a hairline, like shatter, not even that big, but they're gonna put like a small little screw in it.
Remember when Angel fell? It sparked a big mystery in the WNBA. Her injury might not be her biggest problem. Angel Reese was racing against the Los Angeles Sparks, ready to shine. After her shot, she fell and said she hurt her wrist. Yet, she was seen hitting the floor with that wrist. Then things took a turn. Angel claimed she had a fracture, but not just any fracture. It was in a tough-to-heal spot. Now she's faced with a hard choice: risky surgery or early arthritis. Imagine being 22 and having to make that call.
Angel's a poor shooter of the basketball. I don't know any other way to say it. She's just a poor shooter.
And the Chicago Sky, at best this season, will be the 8th seed in the playoffs and probably get smoked by the Liberty first round, so what's the point?
We've never seen official reports about this injury. Its details remain unclear, sparking fan curiosity. Is there more to the story? You might wonder how this impacts the Chicago Sky. Typically, losing a star player would hurt a team. Surprisingly, the Sky have continued as usual, with or without Angel.
I also think think it's going to be interesting to see how the Chicago Sky runs specifically their offense without Angel Reese on the court, because one thing that they have focused on this entire season through wins and losses is feeding the ball through Angel Reese. The offense has pretty much gone through her the majority of the season. It has worked in their favor in some ways, and it has caused some losses in some ways. And I also think that a player like Camila Cardoso, who was the number 3 pick in the WNBA draft, she has been pushed to the side, and Angel Reese has been in that spotlight.
Let's simplify this. The Sky's playoff chances are slim, and Angel's absence isn't helping. The team is struggling either way. Now people are questioning if Angel is truly the game changer they believed.
However, when it comes to play on the court, I think that Camila Cardoso hasn't been able to find her groove, and I don't think that the Chicago Sky have utilized these two players in the way that they probably should have, because I feel like they have a pretty big threat with these two if they use them properly. So hopefully, even with Angel Reese out through the rest of the season, they can maybe try some different lineups, try to run offenses a different way, and maybe figure out what will work best going into next season.
But wait, there's more. Angel's teammates are starting to speak up, and it's not looking good. After a crushing 31-point loss to the Washington Mystics, Camila Cardoso didn't hold back. She called the performance embarrassing. Ouch. That's not just frustration, that's a teammate who's reached her breaking point. You might be wondering, is Angel really as upset as she appears? That's the key question. Some fans are looking closer and starting to think there's more to her injury than she's admitting. Is she using this break for another reason? Could there be a bigger plan we're not seeing?
I'm still a rookie. I'm still figuring it out. Trying to figure things out. So if I am rookie of the year, God, thank you.
You definitely won't be the rookie of the year.
If I'm not, back to the drawing board, and I just want to win. Getting to the playoffs is something that I really want to do. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not really thinking about rookie of the year.
She's clearly thinking about it. It's evident on her face. She knows she might lose it. Just when the Angel Reese story seemed to peak, Caitlin Clark entered. She's not just playing basketball, she's changing the rules for newcomers. How is one player altering the WNBA so much?
Saying Angel Reese is better than Caitlin Clark is saying Rodman was better than Michael Jordan, or Ben Wallace was better than Kobe, or even Andre Drummond was better than LeBron. And I shouldn't have to point out that Angel Reese is actually a poor defender.
Let's discuss Caitlin Clark's impressive stats. She's averaging 23.4 points and 10.6 assists per game, leading the league. Remarkably, she's also made history. Clark is the first rookie to achieve 2 triple-doubles in a season. Amazing, right?
The WNBA's black superstars should thank their lucky stars. For the record ratings, Caitlin Clark is detonating, even if new fans are mostly white fans. It doesn't matter what color eyeballs are.
Clark's influence extends beyond statistics. The Indiana Fever, they're selling out arenas, both home and away. Fans flock to see Clark play. Each game turns into a showcase for her. Meanwhile, Reese isn't pleased. She's taking shots at Caitlin's fans.
I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. But when you come, when it's behind your name, that's when a lot of people are like, oh, they think, oh, I don't like her because her fans are saying this. No, I don't believe in her heart that she has hatred towards me. And I'm sure she believes that I don't have hatred towards her, but I think her fan base has gone, I'm talking about like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. Like,
we see it all the time.
I know y'all see it. Like, I literally saw something today that was like,
You might be wondering how significant this is. Well, consider this. Clark's recent game against the Atlanta Dream drew viewers in droves. Its numbers rivaled NFL games, all within the WNBA. That's impressive. But it gets even better.
Angel Reese announced on Twitter that her rookie season as a WNBA dump diver is officially over. Hey there, lonely male followers, it's me, Angel. No bikini pics today because I have bad news. I have spent the weekend at Woke Memorial Hospital under the care of pretend Dr. Jill Biden. Jilly just informed me that I've got a boo-boo on my wrist. Ouchie!
Clark is busy lifting her whole team. She's more than just a top scorer, she's improving everyone around her. It's like seeing a basketball expert lead an orchestra. Each pass and play clicks perfectly.
Okay, but that being said, 3 in a row has never been done before in the WNBA. I don't believe that it's been done in the NBA. Now look at these numbers. Look at these numbers for the week of September 2nd to September 8th. 25 points per game, 4.3 made threes per game, 10 assists per game, 7.7 rebounds per game.
Caitlin's take on the Angel Reese injury drama might surprise you. Instead of sparking rivalry, she's choosing sportsmanship. Clark said, "It's sad to see anyone injured. Her drive is among the best in the league." So, amidst the drama, Clark is showing respect. She's not just acknowledging Reese's talent, but also her hard work. This shift in perspective could signal the end of rivalry. Perhaps it's the start of a new alliance.
Yeah, I think it's obviously definitely sad anytime you see anybody go down with an injury, especially people that you came into this league with, whether it was Cam, whether it was Angel, and especially Angel. Like, you want to see her finish out this year. Obviously, she's had a historic year and she's done some incredible things. And for me, like, getting to play against her, like, her motor is up there, if not the best in the league. Like, she just doesn't stop working. So, congratulations to her. I thought she had a tremendous year. And I thought she came to the league and really did what she's done well her entire career as long as I've known her. So it's definitely devastating. That's never anything you want to see from a player. And then obviously our rookie class has kind of been hit with a few more injuries than you would have liked to see. And I think, for myself, I think just some of those things you can't avoid, especially in their 2 instances. Obviously, I don't know the specific details, but that's kind of what comes with basketball at times. So, it's sad for them, but I think at the same time for myself, is just continue to take care of your body, take care of yourself. It becomes a long season, especially when you're playing games with 1 day in between. Like, you really have to prioritize that. But like I said, some of those things are just unavoidable, and it's sad to see.
Just when you thought this rivalry was predictable, Angel Reese surprises us. What if I told you she's considering a move that could redefine WNBA stardom? It's a decision that's splitting her fans.
To hate, because I am a successful Black woman. Mm-hmm. I'm doing a lot of things that you haven't seen before.
Angel Reese just dropped a bombshell that has everyone talking. She said, "I'd rather be rich than famous." Can you believe it? That's not something you hear every day from a rising basketball star. It's like she suddenly flipped the script on her entire career.
I'd rather be like rich than famous. Like, I'd rather be like, everybody want to be famous, but like they don't really know what like come with it. Like, it's fun, like all the connections and stuff you make, but like sometimes you just want to live a normal life. Like we were talking about, like just being able to walk down the street casually.
You might be thinking, isn't Angel just about basketball? But here's the twist. While dealing with her wrist injury, Angel has been busy off the court. She launched a podcast and shared dreams beyond basketball. Now, fans are left wondering what's up.
Impact. I want to continue like just to normalize like fashion in women's basketball, women's sports, women being outspoken, just being able to have a voice and like being able to be outgoing and super outgoing and not just be, okay, only men can do it, like women can do the same thing.
Some people are excited about Angel's new direction. They see her as smart for planning beyond basketball. After all, a basketball career is short. However, others are worried. They think she might lose focus on what made her famous. Angel is at a big crossroads. On one hand, she has the talent to shine in the WNBA. On the other, there are new opportunities. These include podcasts, endorsements, and new career paths. She's caught between two worlds and needs to make a choice.
As she has in things off the court, and she has done more off the court than I feel like any other WNBA player in the league this season. She has been so busy with like commercials, brand deals, fashion things, the Met Gala, movie premieres, all of the things. One critique that I have of Angel and how she handled her rookie season, I honestly don't think that she should have ever taken on that villain role. And she said it herself. That's why I'm saying it here.
Now things get interesting. What if this injury is more than a setback? What if it's Angel's big moment, like in superhero movies where the hero faces the toughest challenge? This could be her test. Will she return stronger and rule the court? Or will she take this chance to change direction?
So I can no longer play pretend basketball, but don't worry, lonely men. You will still be able to see me on my podcast, and I'm sure my girl Lotto will give me a feature in her next music video titled Pretend Basketball Meets Pretend Rapper.
But wait, there's more. Angel isn't just deciding for herself, she's possibly changing the game for all WNBA players. Think about it. If Angel can balance basketball and building her brand, she opens doors for everyone in the league. She's not just playing basketball, she's strategizing her entire career.
I'm going to preface all of this by saying the rivalry worked. The media hyping up these two players and acting like Angel Reese has been in the Rookie of the Year conversation, when in my personal opinion that just isn't even fair to her to say when Caitlyn ran away with this a few months ago. Having that rivalry worked when it comes to viewership, when it comes to engagement, when it comes to all of those things. However, seeing Angel Reese in the media throughout the past 3 months and how she has come out multiple times and said how she gets a lot of hate online, she gets bullied, different things are sent to her. A lot of these things are alluding to the fact, and she even said that in her farewell letter, that this is the first time that she will get a physical and mental break. I do think that some of this drama, and she started some of it, to be fair, got to her.
So what's next for Angel Reese? Will she shock everyone by coming back stronger than ever to dominate the court? Or is she about to make a move that no one sees coming? One thing's for sure, whatever Angel decides, it's going to shake up the WNBA in a big way.
And probably took up more mental space and emotional space than it should have. And I'm only saying this because we've seen her continue to make little sly remarks, even though she says there's no bad blood between her and Caitlyn. And also, not all of this is directed at Caitlyn. She just likes to call out haters and clap back at haters and say different things. And my advice to her, from somebody who has been in this industry, maybe not the highest spotlight that she is at, but I have been in somewhat of this spotlight in the sports world, the more that you clap back, the more that you say things, whether you're right or not, whether you're defending yourself in the proper way or not, more is going to come back at you.
Angel is at a crucial point. It's more than just her wrist. The whole WNBA is watching. Once seen as the next big star, she now faces a choice. Should she battle back from injury to return stronger, or is it time to leave the game behind?
The more that she says hey haters, it wasn't this, I'm this, it fuels those negative people to continue saying negative things about you. When she went on her podcast, in her first episode in her podcast, the title, I don't know if she changed it at this point because Caitlyn Clark was also in the thumbnail of her video, but the title being addressing the Caitlyn Clark drama. And while in that podcast she said that she respects Caitlyn, she's sure that they'll play together, and I agree with her on all this. I'm not saying that she's lying about any of this, but when she then throws in, but Caitlyn Clark fans do this, and this, just that little piece of information, just that little thing that you said, is going to stir up more controversy and people coming back at you.
Angel's choice isn't just for her, it's crucial for all WNBA players. If she succeeds off the court, it could change the game. So what's next? Will Angel surprise us and shine on the court again? Or is she about to make an unexpected move? Either way, it will significantly impact the WNBA.
When Kennedy Carter hip-checked Caitlyn, was that a basketball play? Absolutely not. Was Kennedy wrong? 100%. It was not as hard as people say, but it was everywhere. When Alyssa Thomas clotheslined Angel and took her out, that was worse than what Kennedy did.
Facts.
But where was the uproar? Tell me why.
One's a villain.
Who?
The one who says she's a villain. What I'm saying is if Draymond right now gets closed by somebody, there's no uproar.
Case of Angel Reese, who's just had to shut it down because of a wrist injury. Caitlyn Clark, who's continuing to play. Rivalry that goes back to their college days, presumably, where I guess some trash talking entered in. But now it seems on some social media channels to have taken a darker turn, a more menacing turn, where race has been introduced into the conversation, where sexuality is sometimes introduced into the conversation. How do you try and stay ahead of that, try and tamp it down, or act as a league when two of your most visible players are involved, not personally, it would seem, but their fan bases are involved in saying some very uncharitable things
well,
about
the
the
one
other.
thing that's great about the league right now, we do sit at this intersection of culture and sport and fashion and music. Like the WNBA players are really looked at now as kind of cultural icons.
True.
And when you have that, you have a lot of attention on you. There's no more apathy. Everybody cares. It is a little that Bird Magic moment, if you recall, from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college.
WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is in hot water after comments regarding the rivalry between college stars Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. What initially seemed like a routine media moment has quickly morphed into a firestorm, sparking intense conversations among players and fans alike. During a recent segment on CNBC's Power Lunch, Engelbert was asked how the league plans to navigate the less savory aspects of the rivalry, especially given the racially charged dialogue that has cropped up online. While she acknowledged the negativity, Engelbert shifted focus to the marketing potential, likening the rivalry to the legendary Magic Johnson-Larry Bird rivalry from 1979.
With these two, but the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another. So the social media is different today than it was in 1979 when it didn't exist. But, you know, I always tell the players, you know, I was told a long time ago, if someone's typing something in and you wouldn't ask their advice, ignore it. So it's a balance, but certainly from a marketing dollars, but corporate partners are stepping up to endorse these players much more so than they were.
This statement is spreading across social media. Just look at what's Ken Swift's tweeted. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert on the toxicity that spawned from the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry. Seems to me the WNBA media who keeps chastising the fans is running counter to what the commissioner wants. Let me know what you think. This is Me For Now reacted on Twitter. Honestly, the WNBA media knows that too, because they could diminish it, but they fuel the flame every single day. Pink Puma tweeted, "It's been clear from day one the league officials are trying to capitalize off of Clark, and the players and coaches are trying to ruin it." However, Engelbert's comments didn't sit well with many prominent WNBA players, particularly black athletes, who felt she glossed over critical issues. Connecticut Sun guard DeWanna Carrington didn't hold back, expressing her disappointment that Engelbert missed an opportunity to confront racism directly. "It was eye-opening because of what we've experienced this season," Carrington remarked. "Some of it has been pretty sickening, and it should have been called out. The news is spreading like wildfire. Check out what our Female Athlete Network post on Reddit. WNBA players seemingly react to Kathy Engelbert's controversial Caitlin Clark Angel Reese comments. New York Liberty star Breanna Stewart echoed Carrington's sentiment, labeling the comments disappointing. Three-time WNBA champion Chelsea Gray took it a step further, voicing her frustration at the perceived downplaying of the racial undertones surrounding the rivalry. "There's a responsibility when you're in that position to address things head-on," Gray noted, suggesting Engelbert missed a crucial opportunity to confront these vital issues. "It's not enough to brush it aside." Engelbert's comparison to the Bird-Johnson rivalry has ignited further debate. While that iconic competition helped elevate the NBA, many feel that the comparison diminishes the complexities that female athletes, especially black women, face today, both on and off the court. There's a growing consensus that Engelbert should have taken a firmer stand against the racial attacks that have followed Clark and Reese's rise to stardom. The backlash has initiated a robust dialogue within the league, with players questioning whether the WNBA is doing enough to safeguard its athletes from the harsh realities of public scrutiny. Although Engelbert emphasized the rivalry's importance for the league's growth, the conversation has shifted dramatically. Players are making it abundantly clear that issues of race and respect deserve far more attention than mere marketing benefits. As this dialogue evolves, it remains uncertain whether Engelbert will issue a follow-up statement to clarify her stance. One thing is clear: the voices of WNBA players are resonating louder than ever, and they're demanding a more proactive approach from their leadership. The stakes are high, and the call for accountability is echoing throughout the league. This situation serves as a reminder that while rivalries can drive interest, they also come with the responsibility of addressing broader societal issues. The WNBA is at a pivotal moment, and how Engelbert chooses to navigate this conversation could have lasting implications for the league and its players. The players are ready to hold their commissioner accountable, emphasizing that the fight for equality and respect goes far beyond the court.
Because the African-American lesbian players were going overboard in their racism and sexism on Caitlin Clark. Lynn and the WNBA had to send different videos et al. To the league to get this crap to stop, and the league has, for the most part, stopped.
This shocking admission reveals the internal struggles that Caitlin Clark has faced, not just from the fans, but even from within the WNBA itself. It's hard to believe, but the racism and sexism directed at her were so rampant that the league had to step in.
It seems on some social media channels to have taken a darker turn, a more menacing turn, where race has been introduced into the conversation, where sexuality is sometimes introduced into the conversation. How do you